Perfect. All right, awesome. All right, hi everyone. Thank you all so much for coming to our first fall info session. My name is Brenda. I am the president of UMBC mock trial, and I'm going to kick it off to our treasurer, Maria, who's going to tell you about what mock trial is and how it works.
Thank you so much. If you could just click to the next slide. Yep, so this presentation is going to go through 4 parts. First, I'm going to tell you what mock trial is. Then we're going to say why you should join mock trial. I'm going to tell you how tryouts work, and then we're going to cover some frequently asked questions. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what is mock trial and how mock trial works. So mock trial is a simulation of an actual real life trial that would happen in a court. College students from all around the country use the same case to portray attorneys for one side or the other, or witnesses for one side or the other. Each attorney and each witness is scored on the performance in trial. And as a team, the team that has the most points at the end of the trial wins the round. So this is just some basics thing to know. Our program, the UMBC mock trial program, is split into teams. Each teams have around 6 to 10 members. And this year, UMBC mock trial will have 2 teams. And each team will have 6 active participants in a trial, which means that there will be 3 attorneys who will be sitting on the bench together and 3 witnesses playing different types of roles. And attorneys and witnesses are both extremely important to winning a trial. So what does an attorney do? Well, when you think about what an attorney does in real life, it's fairly similar. Attorneys are the main speakers of each trial. Each attorney will ask questions to 2 different witnesses. First, they're going to do something called a direct exam on their witness from their team. And then they're going to do something called a cross exam on the opposing side's witness. And 2 out of the 3 attorneys on one side is going to give something called a statement, either an opening statement or a closing statement. And those happen obviously at the beginning or the end of the trial. So, and a witness can play different characters for each trial. Now, this year we have a lot of interesting witnesses that can be really fun to play. We can play a stunt pilot or a fortune teller, or you can play something more serious, such as a widow. And there are several experts in this case. Now, experts is just the word that we use about scientists who go to testify in a trial to explain something scientific in the trial. And witnesses answer friendly questions from their own attorney, the attorney that's on their team, and then hostile questions from an attorney on the other side. That's the cross-examination. Witnesses can have a lot of fun. We can wear costumes and build character through accents, mannerisms, or even something like body language. So how do the competitions work? Each competition occurs over 2 days on a weekend, and we do 2 trials, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. So 4 in total per competition. And in the fall and the winter, we compete at something called individuals, which are basically practice tournaments. We travel usually on Fridays and then come back typically on Sunday night. But starting in February, that's when we start competing in the national playoffs, starting with regionals, and then orcs in March, and then the national championship tournament in April. And we'll tell you more details about each and every step along the way as time goes on. So is UMBC good at mock trial? We definitely are. Back in 2021, we won the national championship and got the Calkins Trophy, which is what you see on the left here. And we've made nationals 4 years in a row. And out of 700 teams, we are in the top 10. And we're the #1 in Maryland. But obviously, none of us started out being this good already. We worked on it all together. And now, as people in the program, we're going to teach you about everything that we know.
Now, this is why you should join mock trial. First is because of community. Mock trial has really allowed for a lot of our members to meet some of our closest friends, including me. We're all very close together, and we work together um, inside and outside the courtroom. A lot of our members study together, spend time together. Over the months as we travel, we prepare our case. And if you're looking to make connections, real genuine connections on campus while learning and doing something new and exciting, mock trial is perfect for you. Another big reason that mock trial might be for you is because of traveling. We travel so much throughout this season, and it's a really great way for you to meet other college students across the country, get to go to different places. We travel across the country for free and to some of the most fun and exciting cities, in the United States. Last year we went to Chicago. That was a lot of fun. We went to North Carolina. Um, we're also traveling to Los Angeles this year, Chicago again, Boston, New York. Nationals will be in Memphis, Tennessee. So that's really exciting, and places like Philly and DC and more. And then there's also law school. So if you're someone like me who's pre-law and has law school aspirations, mock trial is a great activity for you. Not only is it a great way to pad your resume, but also you develop skills that are necessary to excel in law school. You just develop critical thinking skills, data analysis skills, and working with cases hands-on. Our head coach is a law professor, and he also coaches their trial team at Maryland Law. So, and several of our other coaches and alumni are recent law graduates or law students. Our alumni have gone to law schools like UC Berkeley, UCLA, Georgetown, Northwestern, Maryland, and so many other schools. So they can really help you with preparing for the law school application process and just walking you through that. And then for some of you, you might not be interested in law school at all or anything similar to that, and that's okay. Many of our members have gone on to amazing careers in other fields, and a lot of our members aren't even pre-law students at all. Mock trial alumni have gone on to do things like environmental research, veterinary medicine, Fulbright and Truman Scholars, Teach for America, photography, and so many other fields. It really teaches you skills that will benefit you in the long term for any career path that you go to. Because if you think about it, critical analysis skills, critical thinking skills, data analysis skills, public speaking skills are so important for any job that you pursue after college. And this to our left is two of our coaches. Our head coach, Ben Garmo, is on the left side, farthest left. And then that's our other assistant coach, Whitney, and she's amazing. So we have tons of coaches who are willing to support you and help you throughout the season as you learn and compete. We also have two other coaches, Dylan and Summer, and your coaches will really teach you all you need to know about mock trial. They will help you with your materials. They will help you prepare for your competition. They will be with you as you travel and compete, and honestly help get you in the mindset and boost your confidence up and hype you up for competition as well, because your coaches really see the potential in you and help you reach that maximum potential that you have. And I'll pass it on to Eva.
Hi, everyone. I'm Programs Diversity Chair, and I'm going to walk you guys through each step of trying out. Sorry. Okay. So first of all, when are tryouts? Tryouts are going to be held next Wednesday, September 14th, and next Thursday, September 15th, from 6:30 to 10 p.m. in Commons 327, so on the third floor of Commons. And you'll sign up for a 15-minute time slot on one of those 2 days within that time frame. So there are 4 simple steps to trying out. The first one is to go to umbcmocktrial.com/tryouts, which thank you, Ben, for putting that in the chat, to fill out both a Google form and a sign up genius on that website. So the Google form, we're just going to collect some basic information, see if you have any prior experience. If you don't, that's totally okay. And then the sign up genius is for signing up for your time slot. Then the third thing you do is on that same page, you can download the tryout packet. That's going to have all the information, including some like facts and just more information about our tryouts. And then you attend your tryout. So some things to expect at your tryout. When you walk into the room, there will be about 6 to 8 people in the room already. There'll be some executive board members from our student leadership and at least one of our coaches. You are not required to wear a mask for your tryout, but you are more than welcome to do so. And we're also happy to wear masks during your tryout if you're more comfortable with that. You'll tell us your name, do your tryout. We'll ask you a few questions about yourself, and then you'll be done. And then another thing to note is that we will be recording your tryout, but the video is controlled by our head coach, and it will be removed from our drive as soon as we choose our team. So the only thing it's going to be used for is for us to choose our teams and decide who's going to be on the team. So for an attorney tryout, we're going to ask that you choose one of the 4 topics that I'm about to list and prepare a 4 to 6 minute persuasive speech on one of these topics. So the first one is whether or not it's good and noble to steal from the rich. The second is whether book versions are better or movie versions are better. The third is whether or not social media has made the world a better place. And the fourth is whether or not all students should be required to take foreign language classes in college. So for one of these topics, you will pick a side and you will persuade us as to why your side is correct. So for more about the attorney tryout, the most important part of your speech is to argue. For example, if you choose to argue that movie versions are better than book versions, you should provide some facts, statistics, or stories to back up your argument. And your speech should also be memorized, so don't plan to have notes in your hands for your tryout. So just a few tips for your attorney tryout. Practice, practice, practice. The more you run your speech, the more you'll have it memorized, not just what you're going to say, but how you're going to say it, and the more confident you'll feel. The second thing is practice speaking slowly and clearly. If you're talking slower than normal, you're probably at the right speed. A lot of times we find that people tend to be talking faster than they think they are. I'm probably pretty guilty of that while I'm presenting this. So make sure you practice speaking slowly and clearly. And the last thing is don't be afraid to add some personality to your speech. You can bring a prop, tell a joke, or do whatever feels right to make your speech memorable and convincing. That's one thing that we really value in our program is encouraging our members to really inject personality and your personal style and how you present your case. So please don't be afraid to do the same in your tryout. So for witness tryouts, you'll need to pick 2 witnesses from the list of these characters below. The first one is Ari Felder, the victim's spouse, D.B. Gelfand, a Daredevil airshow pilot, Mandy Navarra, an airplane technician, Dr. Jamie Subchenko, an aviation expert. So you should come to your tryout knowing which 2 witnesses you have chosen to portray. So for your 2 chosen characters, you need to do 2 things. The first is to develop a character for your witness or for each of them. And the second is to prepare answers for these 2 questions. The first one is to introduce yourself with about 3 to 4 sentences to describe who you are and what your life is like, you being the character, of course. And then the second is to tell us a story about the character, about your character that informs us about who you are as a person. All right, so a little bit on how to develop a character. So the trial packet has more details about this on page 6, but here are a few basic tips for now. The first one is to think about who you are, how this character speaks, how you act, and how you feel about certain things. A second thing is to be confident. No matter who you are, no matter how ridiculous of a character you might have come up with, be committed to the character that you're playing. A third one is to dress the part. Wear something your character would wear, but please do not go out and buy anything for this. Anything that you have will be more than enough. And lastly, write a backstory. Some small details that you can get just by thinking of a sort of elaborate backstory for a character can be really helpful, and it definitely does make a difference. So if you know who you are, we will too. And just a couple of facts about this year's case. On July 20, oh my God, not 24th, on July 4th, 2021, attorney Morgan Felder joined pilot Reese Campbell for a flight. After departing the Rapid River Valley airfield, the aircraft deviated from its planned route and eventually crashed into the nearby Mount McIntosh. There were no survivors. Ari Felder, Morgan's spouse, has brought a negligence suit against Kohler Campbell Air LLC, the company that owned the aircraft. So, pretty interesting case. Well, maybe plane crashes aren't very interesting, but there are definitely a lot of interesting components of the case. Yeah.
All right. Oh, some frequently asked questions. How much of a time commitment is mock trial? So mock trial is a big time commitment, but you still have plenty of time to be involved in other activities. A lot of our members are involved in multiple different organizations on campuses, taking multiple different classes. We meet twice a week during the evenings. Our full program meetings are Monday nights from 7:10 to 9:40 p.m. And then the team that you're a part of will decide as a team which second night you want to have as to meet, which night you want to meet on that. And your team will also compete 3 to 4 times each semester. When you travel to a competition, you'll usually be gone from Friday afternoon until Sunday night. So you want to make sure that you don't have any conflicts or any commitments during those travel weekends. And we'll work with you to make sure that you have plenty of time for schoolwork and other activities. Oftentimes we'll help each other with our classes, whether it's a class that another member has taken in the past and they can kind of help tutor you a bit, or we'll have study sessions together. So you do have plenty of time outside of mock trial, and it's not going to take up your entire life. Another frequently asked question is, how do teams work? So after tryouts, we split our members into 2 teams, UMBC Black and UMBC Gold. And these are unstacked teams with an equal number of returners and new members. So new members can get properly acclimated to the mock trial environment with a mentor by their side. And then after 2 unstacked tournaments, we'll take a weekend off and then stack into UMBC A and UMBC B, which is based on time commitment and skill. And then after that, we'll compete as UMBC A and B for the rest of the season. And both teams will go to great tournaments across the country. Both teams will get to travel plenty, have great coaches, and equal access to all of our program resources. So if you're when deciding if you want to try out as an attorney or a witness, definitely if you love to argue, debate with others, or if you want to get better at public speaking, an attorney role might be better suited for you. If you like acting, creating characters, if you like drama, TV shows, and theater, a witness role might be better for you. And sometimes we place people in different roles based on how we see them best fit, depending on, space and the potential that we see in them. But we always talk to you before we make any changes like that. And a lot of our members also do compete as both attorneys and witnesses. So you will have plenty of opportunity to compete as whichever one you want to, whether an attorney or witness. So it's not like you're stuck in one role forever. And now we're going to take questions from all of you all. Feel free to post it in the chat or unmute yourself. Faith?
Hi, so are there separate teams for defense and plaintiff, or do you learn both parts?
That's a good question. So there's not, so for teams, you'll have, you'll prepare both sides of the case. Now there might be different competitors for each side of the case. So you might only be on the plaintiff side, but your team will prepare both sides of the case, if that makes sense.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions?
So Noah said if there's a conflict with the program meeting times on Monday, I'm sure there will be a way to work around it. We are planning to have 2 meetings every week. So when we would get into our unstuck teams, we can talk about it then.
Anyone else? It could be about tryouts, this year's case, more information about how competitions work, or if you've already read the trial packet, if you had any specific questions about that either. Yeah, Faith?
Should we wear like trial clothes, tryouts, if we're trying out as an attorney?
You don't have to, but if you want to, feel free to do that. If that makes you feel more confident, because I know if you feel good, you look good, you perform better. So feel free to do that. I definitely encourage witnesses, if you're trying out for a witness role, to try to costume if you can, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant or elaborate, but think about how that witness might wear their hair in court, or if that witness would wear glasses, or if that witness would wear, something like a full-on suit, or if they would be a little more casual, or things that add to your personality, whether it be like bracelets that, might add to that witness's personality, or like pins, stuff like that, earrings. Yeah.
So Nick asked in the chat, I know this is probably more of a professor-based question, but when we travel, is that an excused absence from a lecture on like a Friday? That's a good question. Just from my experience, 90% of the time, it's going to be a yes. Mock trial is kind of known in the UMBC administration as being something that's, worth it to skip a lecture for. Especially if it's a political science lecture. I'm not assuming what you're taking, but if it's that, for example, it's almost typically perfectly okay with a professor.
I'll jump in here real fast, just so that we can clarify this a little bit. Hi, everyone. I'm the team's head coach. So the short answer is it's not like sports where we have like this automatic, like athletes get like a sort of a blanket exception. We don't necessarily have that, but the overwhelming majority of the time we are able to work it out with professors. I'm an adjunct professor at UMBC in addition to my full-time job. So usually I'll just reach out to someone directly on your behalf and we'll coordinate it. And like worst case scenario, you might need to get the notes from someone else. But we have a system for Friday classes to make sure that you're not behind or you don't miss any assignments or anything like that.
Anyone else? Now's your time to ask questions, guys. Because we want to help you feel as prepared as possible for your tryouts. Oops, why did Alyssa? I think they're unmuted. No one else? Going once.
Oh, okay. So Noah asked a very good question. I'm sorry, Alicia, were you talking? I didn't mean to.
Who?
Oh, I saw the green box for
Yeah.
sound. Yeah, that's okay. I'll answer Noah's question really quick. So how often do you travel to other meets? Around 3 to 4 times a semester. And we do hold a meet or a competition actually right here at UMBC. It's called the Charm City Classic Invitational. It will be happening this fall. And then Diana asked, how flexible is the Friday meeting start time? I'll work until 3 or 4. So again, it will be on a, not part of my pun, a case-to-case basis, but I'm sure we can work something out. I had a time commitment on a Friday last semester too. I understand how hard that can be, but it can definitely be overcome.